guys, it's Justine and WWDC 2021 is here. If you guys watched the event, you're probably already aware of all of the things that I'm going to talk about, but if you didn't, we're going to go through a little recap. Now, WWDC is a developer conference which is mostly focusing around software and kind of giving developers a heads up of like, hey, this is what we have coming out, start developing for our platform. It is exciting because if you do have a developer's account and you are a developer, you will have access to beta versions of these things. So I'm just patiently waiting here for the iOS 15 beta, the new iPados, and of course, macOS Monterey. That is the follow-up to our current Big Sur. And I've loved Big Sur so much. I know I talked about this in my predictions video, and it's kind of crazy because my sister and I were discussing what we thought the name was going to be, and I don't know, we kind of guessed it. Monterey. I like Monterey. Mammoth. We've never been to Mammoth.
That's in Nevada, but also California.
macOS Monterey. Oh. So let's start with some of the things that they announced. Obviously, iOS 15 is something that we're all looking forward to because this is kind of setting us up for what to expect in the next version of the iPhone. So the iPhone 13, or whatever it is that they're going to be calling it, will of course be launching with iOS 15. And the first thing that they talked about in the keynote was FaceTime. And I'm kind of excited about this because I like FaceTime, but there's so many things, especially over this past year, that we've come so accustomed to being able to do in video conferencing. And of course, that's being able to share a link out and anybody being able to view it, whether you're on an Android or a Mac or a PC, and even be able to share what's on your screen. There'll be so many times that you're doing a FaceTime and you have to click off, you want to share a link, you send it in iMessages, but now you can actually do FaceTime screen sharing, which is really cool. They also wanted FaceTime audio to be a little bit more natural and conversational, so they announced spatial audio and voice isolation. And they also have the option of switching from voice isolation to wide spectrum. And with that, that'll pick up all of the sound around you. But with voice isolation, that's just going to be doing just that, isolating your voice and just ignoring the sounds around you. They have a new grid layout, which will highlight anytime anybody is talking, which is kind of nice, also very common. So I'm glad that they are bringing that to FaceTime. Portrait mode video, having that beautiful bokeh, which this is a beautiful bokeh because I'm using a very expensive camera and a very expensive 1.4 f-stop lens. But with portrait mode and being able to use the LiDAR and kind of depth sensing, you're kind of able to mimic this sort of a look. So I think that's going to be really cool to do in your FaceTime videos. But the one thing that I'm so excited about is FaceTime links. So you're going to be able to schedule your FaceTime calls and send out a link to your friends or family or whoever it is that you're going to be chatting with. And it doesn't matter if they're on Android or if they want to do this FaceTime chat on their PC, in a browser. Like, this is kind of huge. The fact that Apple is opening this up to just like not just Apple, pretty excited about that. I feel like they're going to be kind of targeting that sort of work from home environment. I wish that they would have had this about like a year and a half ago, but hey, I'm here for it. We're all here for it. And I think it's going to make a lot of these conference calls so much more seamless. SharePlay is another really cool new feature at FaceTime where you're going to be able to listen to music, watch movies, TV shows all together. And then you're going to be able to use AirPlay to actually take whatever that high quality content is and share it to your TV. So not only will you be able to be FaceTiming and watching this content simultaneously, but you'll be able to like transfer it to your TV and be able to watch it in a higher quality fashion. I've actually never watched content like this with anybody else, but I think it'll be kind of cool to try it out. I'm very excited about some of the iMessage updates. I love this new collage design. So this is going to give you an all new way to share content. I feel like anytime I'm out with my friends or my family and we're at an event, like we're always sharing pictures and photos from that. So what's going to be cool is you're going to be able to have all of those photos in this little collage view. And now they're going to be having this thing where you can actually have these photos automatically be added to your library. So you're not going to have to save them all individually. It'll automatically be added. And this is what they're calling the shared with you section. So not only will this be in photos, but it'll also be available in music, and you'll get a list of all of the links that people have shared with you. And this is seriously so cool because I use iMessage so much for this type of thing, like not only for food recommendations for restaurants, but like news articles or like very important things that I'm like, you sent me this, but where the heck is it? They have an updated notification summary with various graphics and memojis, but this is something that's cool. They have this new focus mode. So if you are in focus work mode, you will only receive notifications from your coworkers or Slack notifications. So you're able to kind of dictate what mode you're in. So if you're at home, you can maybe get notifications from your friends or family, but not get coworker notifications. I love this kind of separation from work and home life, but I unfortunately don't really have that. It all kind of just blends into one. It's like, oh, did you want to have a weekend? What's a weekend? We don't really have those. They have some new intelligent features like live text. So if you take a photo of a whiteboard, that will automatically be translated into text. So you can basically like copy and paste that whiteboard and paste that as text into an email. It's also taking all of the text in all of these photos and making everything searchable. They've updated the new photo memories. You can choose different songs and it'll kind of re-edit those little AI edited movies for you. I think that this is a very easy thing. Like if there's a face that you no longer want to see in your memories, I feel like you should be able to just like have like check a button that says, I never want to see this face again. Really? Is that so hard? All of these incredible features. Can we please just get that one for the sake of many people's sanity and well-being? It would be great. I would love that. Thank you. There's an update to Wallet, which will allow you to have access to car keys, hotel keys, basically like have auto check-in. Like you'll just pick up your phone and you're like, oh look, there's my room key. I'm already checked in. That is something that I'm excited about. There's just something about confrontation that I really don't like when checking in at a hotel. Like it's always just like an ordeal. But I do like checking in when they give you like a free little snack or like a bottle of water. But I think I'd rather just go straight to my room. Like you can put the water in there and I don't have to see anyone. Have I mentioned I'm an introvert? Digital identity is something that I'm a huge fan of. I do feel like this is going to be kind of the future of identity and carrying cards. I think that's a whole nother conversation to talk about how important the blockchain is to be able to allow us to have this digital identity. And do you guys hear that? Can you hear that or am I just hearing it? There's a small child upstairs stomping her little tiny feet. Anyway, blockchain technology, merging that with digital identity, I think is going to be really huge in the upcoming years. But they're doing a little first kind of leap into that with us here having the ability to scan our driver's licenses and be able to potentially use this at TSA. I hope that they make it easy to update your driver's license with the DMV because that place is I don't like it. They've got a new design for the weather app. They have some new graphics to better understand conditions like the wind, UV, barometric pressure. I mean, I really just usually say, hey Siri, what's the weather? And then she tells me. AirPods is something that I was so excited about. I was hoping, just fingers crossed, that they maybe were gonna announce some new AirPods. I just love the first edition of the AirPods. Like these are still my absolute favorite. But they did announce a new little feature that will be helping people who are hearing impaired. It's called a conversation boost. So you can have them in and it'll be able to elevate the conversation that's happening around you. That's pretty awesome because a lot of people just wear AirPods all the time to take calls or get notifications. And now it can actually help you hear more. So that's pretty cool. This was also very exciting. Of course, you know, the AirTags came out and using the proximity feature with the AirTags, you're kind of just able to walk around your house and find your item, but now they're going to be integrating that into the AirPods. Of course, you'll be able to play the sound to try to find them, but now adding the proximity support is going to be really cool. I can never freaking find my AirPods, ever. Spatial audio with the AirPods Max and the AirPods Pro is just such an incredible thing. It's cool because they're now bringing this to tvOS and macOS with the M1 chip, so that'll be really cool to try. There's a bunch of new iPadOS updates, like new widgets on the home screen. There's a new Find My and Contact widget. There's new Game Center widgets. They've also made it easier to reorganize a lot of your apps. So the app library, you're able to relocate entire pages or hide those so that they're no longer on your homepage. There's a new multitasking menu and they've made it so much easier to do split screen. I do feel like sometimes for whatever reason, I always try to do split screen on my iPad and I either do it wrong or it doesn't look right. So I love this little demo that they did to show how easy it is to start a new split screen. You can kind of just drag and drop one of the apps onto another and it's like, boom, automatic. There's also updates coming to Notes, and I'm such a huge Notes fan. Like I use this to write all of my scripts. Right now I have all of the notes from the WWDC event written here, and it's so easy because you can just share these notes directly, but they've started adding a few new things like mentions, which can be really great for me and my sister and Tyler also, because when we do the podcast, we will do all of our notes inside of the Notes app. So we'll be able to mention like, hey Tyler, do you think this is a good idea? Or hey Jenna, make sure you do this. There's also hashtags. There's also an activity view, so you'll be able to see the things that have been changed. And now they even have quick notes, so you'll be able to use like your Apple Pencil and just kind of swipe from the corner and just start taking notes. And those will also all be available right in the Notes app. I love the Notes app. It's the best. Obviously, privacy is such a huge concern. I mean, we are sharing so much of our lives and personal information on all of these devices. So I love that Apple is really kind of spearheading all of this to make sure that we are being safe. So they announced an update for the Mail app, which will give us the option to hide our IP addresses, because they were talking about a lot of these like spam emails can tell if you open it because they have like these invisible little graphics and all kinds of things in them to be able to track you, to get your IP address and then track you all over the freaking web. Like, get out of my business. They've also announced that there is an iCloud Plus. So this will be able to use Safari to do a private relay browsing. So this is going to be adding a whole another level of security. So if you do want to sign up for some sort of newsletter or something, you can hide your email. So you can create endless amounts of like different email addresses and then have them forwarded to your actual email address. And if you want to delete one of those email addresses, you can easily do that too. They also talked about HomeKit secure video. You can receive if a package or something is delivered to your door, like you'll get a package notification. And I was just thinking the amount of packages that I receive on a daily basis, my phone is just going to be like ding, 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 which is always exciting when I get a fun package. But yeah, definitely want to test that out. They also announced a new way to recover your iCloud account if you're unable to access it. So you can add trusted people who will not have access to your iCloud account, but they will be an added trusted person that can call and retrieve a number or like a PIN number, and then you have to enter that so that you can get back into your account. Along that same note of iCloud recovery, they added legacy accounts. If someone passes away, you'll be able to designate who can have access to your information and then what to do with it. And it's really a terrible thing to think about, but I'm really, really glad that they're doing this. They talked a lot about health, and I love the fact that Apple is very health focused. Obviously with the Apple Watch, this has so many health features built into it, but it is kind of surprising how much is actually built into the iPhone. They have this new walking steadiness feature, so it'll be able to recognize and kind of determine your walking trends. And along these sort of same lines, they've got another new feature where you're able to share your health with someone. This is going to be very helpful for, I feel like, if we want our parents to be able to share their health data with us. So you get a notification when one of your parents may have a lower heart rate or a higher heart rate, or if their walking steadiness declines, you'll be able to get a notification that, hey, something's going on, maybe you should check on so-and-so. Some updates in watchOS. They have 2 new workouts. There's a Pilates and a Tai Chi workout. I love that they've really been kind of integrating new workouts into the Apple Watch. I still wish that I could wear this for jiu-jitsu, but they do have a martial arts option on here. They didn't officially announce HomeOS, but they were talking a lot about HomeKit. I feel like this might be kind of tying into a separate event. Hopefully there'll be something really cool that they announce for the home. I did think that maybe we would have heard a little bit more about this, but they kind of just were showing how everything all works together. macOS Monterey, I cannot wait to try this out. I'm very excited about it because I did just, Big Sur was so beautiful, so they're kind of just adding some updates to this. Now I use multiple devices all the time, so usually I will have, my main computer, I'll have like my iPad, and then sometimes I'll even have my MacBook next to me, and all of these things I'm doing something different and they're all kind of still working together. But now, this is probably, honestly, one of the best updates that I've seen at WWDC so far of the whole event. It's called Universal Control. So if I have my iPad, my iMac, and my MacBook all sitting next to each other, they will automatically act as, I guess, kind of like external devices, but I can use them all with the same mouse, the same keyboard. So I can use my mouse on my iMac, and then I can scroll over to my iPad, and then I can be using my iPad with my mouse, and I can type, and I can use shortcut keys, and then I can slide all the way over to my MacBook, and everything just works seamlessly. Like, this is freaking cool. Like, now I'm just saying it out loud. This is exciting, like super excited. Like, I'm hyped about this. And if you guys aren't hyped about it, that's fine, it's okay. Allow me to have this moment. So now all of this stuff that we've talked about today is going to be available to developers actually starting today. One update that I thought was cool that they mentioned that I forgot to mention earlier is an update to Apple Maps. They have this new, I guess, like AR 3D street map view where if you're stuck somewhere and you're lost, you can basically get your phone, hold it up, and it'll kind of make this whole augmented reality map, so it'll show you exactly where you have to go. Now I know that Apple Maps, it's weird because it's like a love-hate relationship that I have with it. Apple Maps looks way better than Google Maps, and I love that Apple Maps works with my Apple Watch, so if I'm driving or I'm on a bike, it'll kind of give me that haptic feedback to let me know that I have a turn coming up. But for whatever reason, sometimes I just don't feel the confidence of if I have to get somewhere on time, like, I usually would go to Google. But I am excited about some of these updates because they've really made Apple Maps look beautiful. And to have this integration in with CarPlay, like, it's gonna be cool. They've added so much more detail in city neighborhoods. They've redesigned the roads. They have custom designed landmarks, elevation, and so much more. So that was just a little look at some of the highlights that were announced here at WWDC. I love this event because it really does kind of set us up for the rest of the year. And I cannot wait to get my hands on the beta versions of some of these. If there's anything that you would like for me to test out, please leave it in the comments below. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, so you'll be notified when I post a new video. And now, my friends, we are gonna download some developer software. See you later.